Hi, everyone. Welcome to Merch Money. We have today Kim and Kayla Jensen as our guests. We're very excited to have them. And as always, we're going to go around and just introduce ourselves and say one thing that we're really proud of this week. So for myself, I am up in New Jersey. I don't know if you guys can tell. This is a different environment. I'm at my parents' house. So my name's Helen Kinson. I'm the merch boss, and up in New Jersey, I had my first merch meetup. So that's what I'm proud of this week. We had a really fun time. We all met in Hoboken, and I'm hoping to do that in a lot of other states and cities throughout the year. It was a lot of fun. So anyway, Brianna.
Hey guys, Brianna Moller Greene here, Merch Maverick and co-owner of VA Rentals. I'm just in full-on print-on-demand like frenzy, like all week long. What am I excited about? Everything. Like I'm just like all over the place. But I think the best thing that has come out of this past week are some of the new clients that I'm working with, and like seeing what their passions are. And exploring new niches. I'm like, oh, this is cool. So I'm getting pumped seeing what other people are pumped about.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. We have a guest. You want to come? Or yeah, go ahead. You guys can go next. My parents are going to introduce themselves in a minute.
Cool.
Oh, no, they're here right now. Come here. The shirts didn't come in time, but this is Merch Dad and Merch Mom. It would have been so awesome if the shirts came, but they promised they'll take a picture. All right, bye. Speaking of shirts, I forgot to say my shirt. My shirt came in. I love it. And it's linked below. Everybody that made the shirts, they got linked last week and this week. So you guys got linked twice.
Awesome.
I'll go next.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So this month is starting out really well. Very promising. It's been, last month was a little slow. I'm still happy with my numbers, but I'm even happier with my numbers right now. So that's my positive. So.
Awesome.
Yay, merch.
I'll go. Amy Nicholas, Marketing Mayhem Girl, and this is Owning's design that I picked up. Merch Mayhem. I love it. I feel like a walking graffiti template.
It looks perfect on you. Like, it looks so good.
Yeah. I mean, the colors really pop because I wasn't sure if I should go with black or navy. And I was like, I'm going to go with black. And it turned out to be a wise decision. Owning, just so you know, no print quality loss here. It looks really good. My plus, the positive thing, I've already done half the sales that I did all last month on merch. So I'm super excited about that. And just to give like a feedback thing about why I think that is, I've been taking group coaching. I've been uploading very consistently, at least probably 4 to 5 days a week, and trying to get up, a fraction of my 400 slots for the day. But I think it's the consistency that's key, and just really dialing in on research lately.
Awesome. All right, our guest. You guys want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name's Kim Jensen, and I think the positive for me, the last 6 weeks or so in my personal life has been really busy. I've had a lot going on, so I really haven't dedicated a lot of time to merch. But I'm still selling shirts and I'm still making money, which I love. That you can still make money and not be putting forth a lot of effort into it. So that's pretty cool. But I'm ready to get back at it now. So
awesome.
And I'm Kayla, and kind of similarly, I've been really, really in over my head in the past, I don't know, however long, just personal life stuff. So I haven't really also been putting a lot of time into things, but I'm proud of this last week, how I've been getting a lot of sleep, and I'm catching up on my sleep, and my computer is being repaired so I can get back to work pretty soon.
Kayla just got married 2 weeks ago, too. So
congratulations. Oh, congratulations.
So, technically, I'm Kayla Ellis now.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I messed it up on the thing.
Okay.
Well, congratulations. That's awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, so it's been good, but it's been kind of crazy recently.
Yeah.
But I'm ready to get back in the merch game.
So a lot of life changes. You got married, and then your brother just graduated.
Yep.
That's a lot.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Well, lots of good stuff. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
It is, and it's nice that you can have those things go on in life, and merch keeps selling T-shirts for you
Yep.
and keep sending you money. So that's good.
Well, for anyone I'll let you guys introduce yourselves, but just for like a little start to it. I know the basics, so you guys can help elaborate. But I know that Kayla designed an awesome solar eclipse shirt that took off, and it was like 40,000 in 1 week or 1 month or something, right?
Yeah. And royalties?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in 1 week.
Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. How did you feel when that happened, Kayla?
I just honestly was really humbled and couldn't believe that people actually wanted to buy my design so much. I was like, I spent a few hours putting it together in one of my classes one day instead of actually doing my schoolwork.
That paid off.
I couldn't believe that it took off and it became such a huge thing. I was so amazed that so many people were actually looking in my shirt and saying, I want to buy that and I'm going to pay money for that right now. And it was just crazy.
Did you ever see someone wearing it?
My husband and my youngest son and I went down to the eclipse. We drove down to Kansas City because I didn't think it was that big of a deal, really, until the shirts started going crazy. And then like the Thursday before the eclipse, I'm like, I kind of want to go see it and see what the big deal is. So we had to move Kayla up to Duluth, which is like 2.5 hours north of here the day before. So we moved her up north, came back home, drove 6 hours through the night to Kansas City, got to a rest area just north of Kansas City about 6 in the morning, slept for a little while, waited at the rest area. And while we were there, I actually saw a husband and wife wearing one of the shirts.
Oh my gosh, that's
awesome.
so great.
I really wanted to go say something to them, but by the time I got over my shock and excitement of seeing it, they had gotten in their car. And I thought it might be kind of weird to go knock on the window of their car, and I didn't want to freak them out. So, but it was pretty cool.
You'd be like, I know that artist.
Yeah.
So before that happened, had you guys taken merch seriously, or was that like the start of it where you're like, oh my gosh, let's really work on this?
That was really the start of it. I mean, 2 years ago, Kayla had graduated high school and she was going off to college and she needed a job. So, and I had been approved for merch, but I didn't know design. I didn't know Photoshop. I didn't know how to do any of that. So I kind of gave her my account and said, here, this is something you can do remotely for me. Figure it out and just run with it. So kind of slowly, she figured it out, started uploading shirts like in September of 2016. And I don't know, we sell a couple shirts a month.
It wasn't great, though.
No, it was not more than $100 a month.
It was kind of like, oh, is this going to become worth my time that I'm spending? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. But she kept at it. She kept at it. And then like March, she started struggling with ideas for shirts and trying to come up with things to do for the shirts. So I thought, well, let me see if I can help you out and I'll find something. So one night I was watching TV trying to find ideas, and I saw that there was a solar eclipse coming up. And so I searched Amazon, and there was 2 solar eclipse shirts up at the time, and they both had a sales rank. So I knew that they had sold. So I told Kayla, I said, why don't you do some eclipse shirts? She's like, oh, okay, I'll design some. So she did 5 that she uploaded. I think the first one was like March 31st or something. And they started selling right away and just went crazy.
That is amazing.
And I mean, if I know then what I know now, I mean, we would have done hundreds of eclipse designs, but I didn't even think about it back then. But we had 2 that did really, really well.
Yeah, one of them was at one point the #4 best-selling item on Amazon in the
Clothing category.
clothing, shoes, and jewelry category.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So you all started selling them 3 months out then, or more than 3.5, probably, right?
No, it was, well, April, May, June, July.
It was 5 months.
5 months out?
5 months. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was. I mean, there weren't hardly any other Eclipse shirts on Amazon at the time. It was basically like there were 2 of them, and
there were 2.
I put up 5, so it was like we had most of them.
Yeah,
You're guaranteed at least a sale.
right.
Do you think that was the biggest factor that gave you guys that momentum?
I think it was a huge factor.
Getting in early,
Getting in early, and with good designs too. That helped.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do y'all still try to catch trends?
Yeah, a little bit. I think, I try and do some holiday stuff. I mean, I obviously haven't come across anything as good as that. I don't know that I ever will, but it was fun while it lasted.
It was a total kind of chance thing. I think. I mean, it was a complete anomaly what happened.
I think it's awesome. I absolutely love y'all's story and the success you had just on 2 designs. I mean, it really shows you the potential of this platform, and that really gives me a lot of hope too. So
right.
I think it's great.
Well, and that's kind of what I saw that, and I'm like, man, I should really learn how to do this, because I didn't learn how to upload my first shirt until September of last year.
So the Eclipse inspired you to get more involved in merch?
It did, yeah. Just because I've seen the potential in it. I still don't know how to design, so I outsource all my designs. But, I'll upload and I'll do research and keywords and all that kind of stuff. But so
that kind of leads in, because that was going to be my next question is, how do you manage that? So you have 2 designers, right? 2 designers, and Kayla is still designing?
No, she's not designing for me anymore. She's just uploading.
I've had school and I haven't been able to put the time into it this past week.
Okay, so you're the uploader, and then you have 2 designers. So who does the research, and how do you manage all of it?
I pretty much do the research. I just recently kind of switched designers, and one that I hired like a year ago, she was kind of getting burnt out, and so she's kind of on a break right now. And I have both the designers I have now are overseas, whereas I've had 2 that were here in Minnesota, that were girls that Kayla knew from college that were graphic design students. So they worked out really well. They were a little bit more expensive than my overseas ones, obviously.
But they also were thinking of their own ideas. So, and then basically what I was doing is I was just taking all the designs from this one friend of mine who was making designs, and I was creating all the listings for them. So doing all the keywording and choosing colors and whatnot. That was basically what I was doing for the past year.
Yeah. And then I started uploading from the other designer. And at one point I had 4 different designers, but I've kind of let a couple of them go. And so I just have 2 right now.
Okay. Well, that's interesting that you had graphic design students, because I think most people have been going the route of a VA. So it's kind of nice to hear the students. I think Young or someone was saying that they had done that before too, of hiring graphic design students.
Yeah, I think Young, because didn't he work at a college?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's the one who was like, why doesn't anyone do this? Like,
right. It's a great way. Right. They're good at it, and their designs were great.
They know they have good ideas, I think, especially if they're younger. They know kind of a different crowd than like my mom would know, I guess.
Thank you.
It's good to have different perspectives, different people thinking of ideas to cover all sorts of. I mean, she thought of all sorts of ideas and things. Shirts that have, I think, become some of your best sellers are ideas that this girl came up with
that I never would have thought of.
Right.
So I mean, it was kind of nice to have somebody else coming up with ideas too. Yeah. But now for my VAs, I give them the ideas for them.
So do you have like a set schedule every week? Like you buy a certain amount of designs, or are they full time? How do you?
One of them is 15 hours a week, and then the other one I send him designs when I get enough ideas. When I get like 10 to 15 ideas for shirts, I send them to him, and then he takes a couple days or a week and sends them back to me.
Oh, okay, cool.
So yeah.
Nice. Do you all sort of stay within a couple of niches, or are you testing things out?
No, I try and go all over the place and go wide and come up with different things. Or a lot of, I'll think of, what do my friends do, or what are their professions, and what are their hobbies, and try and get ideas from that. Or what are some of my hobbies that I like? And I'm like, I maybe really don't have a whole lot of hobbies.
You're like, well,
who's got time for that?
Right. Yeah, I don't have time for hobbies. I'll think of my friends' hobbies and then what shirts I can do for them.
That's a good way to get some feedback, though.
Yeah.
And you can find ideas everywhere, though.
Right.
Like, you just walk around at a mall, and I think of just tons of ideas.
Yeah.
Just walking around looking at things and people.
Or another idea that I had was a goal that I have to reach before I turn 50. And I'm like, I should put that in a shirt because maybe other people have that same goal. And I mean,
that's a great idea.
It's become a good seller.
Nice.
So
what a great idea.
Yeah.
Following that intuition that
you
women
keep doing these like perfect lead-ins to what my next question is.
We really didn't plan this out, did we?
I'm like, I don't know how you're reading my mind. I was usually, for you guys watching this show probably don't know, but I usually come up with some kind of agenda and have some kind of plan. Today it was like all out of whack because I was at the hospital all day with my brother, who was he's fine. He was donating bone marrow, but anyway, it threw my whole and I'm in New Jersey, so I'm all out of whack. But anyway, I was going to ask you, what led into it was, do you guys set goals for your merch business? Do you have like somewhere that you're hoping or that you're shooting for fourth quarter, or like some kind of goal for your business?
I guess I don't have anything written down, which I probably should. Mm-hmm. I'd like to probably be like the 10,000 tier by October 1st. And be, steady uploading. And I like the 180-day rule now with t-shirts.
Yes, that helps so much.
That makes a big difference.
Huge difference.
It'll be really nice to have those 3 months when nothing's falling off.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that is exactly what I'm thinking too. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hit my 10,000 then.
Right.
We can all catch up.
Yep.
And then, like, if they do freeze us, we're not sitting there going, oh, my goodness, there goes, like, 120 shirts.
Right. Yeah, in a day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that will be great.
Is that going to affect your planning strategy? Are you all thinking of uploading, like, Christmas designs really early or anything like that?
Yeah, I think, as I've actually just uploaded a couple of Christmas designs in the last week or so. But I think once, the end of the month hits, all fall, Thanksgiving, Christmas designs are going up. Just because, I want to get them up as early as possible.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea.
I think, honestly, I know for me, especially when I'm trying to get into trends and holidays, not the eclipse, because I missed out on that one, but like Christmas, Halloween, the sooner I put up a design, the better it sells.
Right.
So I do think there's a method to that. I haven't tried out, loading up now for Halloween, but I think I might.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. I think so. And back to school, definitely back to school right now.
Right.
I sold a Halloween design the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I even had this shirt.
Yeah. I mean, I've sold a couple of Christmas designs in the last 2 weeks.
That's funny. I've been hearing a lot of people doing well with Christmas designs lately.
Christmas in July, probably.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
I totally forgot that trend.
It's not too late to add some Christmas in July keywords to your Christmas shirts.
I did do that. I did go over a couple of them, but I haven't seen anything.
Now, do you think that, so you were one of the first people in on the eclipse ordeal. So do you think the earlier that you are in on a trend, the more successful it will be?
I think it helps, but I don't think it's a guarantee.
Okay.
Just because, I mean, you need to have good designs. You know, if your designs, if people don't like them, nobody's going to buy them. Doesn't matter when you put them up.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I think it definitely helps. But just because you put something up 6 months before it happens doesn't mean it's going to be a great seller.
Yeah, and even if you do have a good design, that's still not promising either.
Right, exactly.
Right. I remember doing research for 4th of July, like, oh, gosh, what was it, April? And there wasn't really much to research if you were looking just on Amazon because everybody's shirts were wiped out from last year.
Oh,
so that was, yeah. And so you're looking at ranks and you're like, well, this is like a 2 million rank, 3 million. So nothing had sold recently to even tell you, okay, these are, you know, kind of the trends. So it was kind of challenging to do the research, but I think it's going to be different with the 180-day rule now.
I do too. But that's where Keepa charts come in handy too.
Yeah.
So, because you can see more long term, and you know, last July 4th, was it a good seller? Was it not a good seller? And
yeah, maybe talk about that a little because I don't know how much people from merch and print on demand know about Keepa. Keepa is like for FBA. Anyone who's familiar with FBA knows all about Keepa. But you want to talk a little bit about FBA and your experience with your other streams of income?
Sure, I can talk a little bit about it. I started selling on eBay like 12 and a half years ago, I think. I had, my youngest was almost 1, and I would get formula coupons in the mail. You know how they send you these like checks for a coupon or formula. So I get those in the mail, and I had been throwing them away because I wasn't using them. And I read somewhere that you could sell them on eBay. So I'm like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. So I had like $18 worth in coupons that I listed for $15. And I sold them within 5 minutes of when I listed them. And that was the first thing I ever sold. And from that moment on, I was hooked. And I was only working 1 day a week at that point. So I had some time, but, you know, I had a little one at home, but I had some time that I could devote to it. So I was selling on eBay, and that was going really well, and I really liked it. And then my job switched a little bit, and I was working 4 days a week. So I didn't have quite as much time. But I liked the extra income and kind of the fun money that it gave us. And it was kind of our vacation fund, and we would use that for trips and stuff. And then I heard about Amazon, and I'm like, oh, well, that sounds like kind of a good thing. So I did merchant fulfilled on Amazon for probably 2 or 3 years or so. And then things were taking over my house, and I didn't have room, and I was tired of the clutter all over. And so I'd heard about the FBA program. I'm like, oh, well, I suppose I could try that. But I didn't really like the fact of handing over my inventory to Amazon. That was really hard. But after several Q4s of shipping out like 100 packages a day, I decided this was not for me. And FBA was a wonderful program. So I started that probably 7 or 8 years ago or so, and have been doing that ever since. And I left my job just over 6 years ago. So I do this full time now. And when I left my job, I didn't really realize that people sold on Amazon for a full-time, that it was like a full-time business. I just kind of thought it was a side hustle, and I thought, oh, it'll give me something to do because my kids were all in school. So I would be bored during the day if I didn't do anything. So, but then I started hearing, you know, people finding Facebook groups of Amazon sellers. I'm like, oh, people really do this. Husbands and wives do this, and that's their only income, and it works. And so it just kind of took off from there. And now I make a lot more money doing this than I did working my full-time job. And I get to work from home, and I get to be home when my kids are home, and have the flexible schedule and the hours that I want to work. So I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
So tell everybody who doesn't know what Keepa is so that you can.
Keepa is I don't know if it's like a program or you can go to keepa.com, or there's also a Chrome extension that you can put, and it will, on any item on Amazon, it will show you like the sales rank over the course of time. You can go back like 30 days, 60, and like the entire time the item's been listed on Amazon, and it'll tell you the price. So you can see, you know, like for a July 4th shirt, you can go back and look, okay, last June, the shirt was ranked 10,000. You can see that, and oh, that's a really good seller. You know, it was really popular back then because, like Amy was saying, she was trying to research 4th of July shirts in April, and that doesn't work real well because people really aren't buying that, so you don't know what's popular. So that's why Keepa is real helpful.
Yeah, it's nice with all these overlaps because I find things like that too, where it's like, oh, this is what I learned in FBA, and it really helps me with merch. So it's nice. It's nice to get some of these FBA people on here so we can, because it all helps. It all overlaps and helps.
Now, earlier you were talking about how you do most of the research. How important is Keepa as a tool for your research for merch?
I don't check it real often, actually. When I'm doing research, I just kind of, to get my ideas, I'll do Google searches, you know, try and see what's popular, what's trending, and think of hobbies and professions of people that I know, and that's kind of where I try and get most of my ideas.
Brianna, you're being quiet over there.
I know. I don't know what the heck.
I know. Like, what is this?
She's out of her element. She's outside.
She's like blinded by the sun today.
Yeah.
She can't see.
Oh, and we forgot to say Merch Mama is on vacation, so that's why she's not here. She's out in the sun also at Myrtle Beach.
I have a couple of questions for you. One, I had, now that you're, let's see, were you approaching, or you're already in the 10,000 tier? I think you said.
No, I'm at 8,000 right now.
As far as when you guys are designing, are you finding yourself, other than like trending or seasonal, like leaning towards certain niches where you're just feeling more passionate? I mean, you don't have to reveal them, but I just didn't know if you're still, are you kind of just all over with your research, or do you kind of have a few niches that you're really excited about?
I'm kind of all over. I'm not a very organized person, so I kind of scatterbrain all over the place.
I'm kind of like that when I'm doing research. I have the best of intentions to stay within like a certain type of niche that I'm into, and then it's like 42 tabs later. I'm like,
yeah. You go down a rabbit trail and you end up somewhere completely different than where you started.
Okay, Yeah. All right, cool. And then the other thing I wanted to ask you about is if there are any tools that you would suggest to our viewers that are helping you, whether they're free or paid, whatever, just to help you automate or speed up any of your processes.
No, I'm very old-fashioned, and I know a lot of people like Merch Lister Pro. I think that's the one.
You use Pretty Merch.
Yeah, I use Pretty Merch, but I just have the free version. And I have Merch Lister Pro, and I just can't seem to like it. But I know a lot of people swear by it and say it's wonderful. But like my titles and keywords and stuff, I'll write up in a Word document and then just copy and paste them over.
That's a perfect process too. I love when people reveal that, because you don't always need software and you don't always need extensions, and it doesn't work for everybody. So it's clear what your process is.
Yeah. So I just type it up in Word and then copy and paste it. And if I've got, like, one of my designers, I'll give him an idea and he'll do like 3 different designs. So I'll, upload all those at the same time. So I just keep the same bullet points for all the designs. I'll do all the t-shirts, and then I'll do the long sleeve shirts, and I'll add like long sleeve keywords, and then I'll do the sweatshirts for the same designs, and then the hoodies and stuff. So I think it goes pretty quick.
So kind of like in batches.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And when I'm uploading, usually I'm a pretty organized person, and I keep all of the shirt files in like very explicit organized folders, and then for all the bullet points I just keep them stored in the files themselves, so I can move the files around and stuff, and then retain all the bullet points. So if a shirt falls off and I need to re-upload it, I just open up the file and pull the bullet points, and then maybe edit it a little bit and update, so I don't have to rewrite bullet points every time. And then I didn't want to try and keep them all in, I don't know, one document and then have to search through it. So I found it helpful to like store all of those directly in the file themselves of the PNG files.
That's a
a
good
good
idea.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
That led me to another question too. When you're doing your keywords, do you always like recreate the wheel, or do you go back to some of your other designs that are maybe similar and then start from there? And then, you know, like what I actually do when I'm doing my own is I'll go back and I'll literally copy and paste one that's a very similar shirt that I have, and then work in some new keywords.
Right.
That's what I do usually, unless it's a brand new niche that we've never done before, then I'll have to do new research on it. But a lot of times, I mean, if you're sticking within the same niche, it's pretty easy to just kind of adapt your keyword.
Little tweaks.
And right. And even if you combine different things, then you can combine bullet points from 2 different shirts if you're kind of merging the 2 into 1 or something. And I don't know, it saves a lot of time. And for me, if I'm uploading a lot of shirts in the same category, I kind of have in my mind a template that I almost use that's stored in my mind of what I usually write. And in my mind, I have a whole list of keywords for different categories that I use. Like, you know, if I'm doing a shirt about camping, I make sure to use all these keywords that I have stored in my mind that I just kind of use automatically.
Probably after a while.
When you did your initial research for like that niche, did you go on Amazon? Did you use any tools or to auto suggest?
I'll go on Amazon. I'll look there. I've used merchant words. I'll go to the thesaurus, try and come up with similar words that I might not think of, you know, especially for like occupations or something like that.
There's also, I've used, like, I think Google Trends has some kind of website where it'll give you related keywords to a word you type in, and I use that a lot. But I also honestly like to go to, like, just Google search a word of the main category and just see what kind of stuff pops up. In the Wikipedia page, I'll go through those and just look for related categories, related words. I don't know. I just use Google a lot of the time, honestly.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. You get everything like in one fell swoop, you know?
Yeah.
That reminds me of an extension, actually, I found today for research, and I'll see if I can get it posted. Shoot, it's free.
Was that the auto, like, expander thing? Is that yes. Oh my gosh, I love that. I just found that too.
Oh, on that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool.
It's,
are you thinking where it expands the text box out so you can see the whole thing?
And it shows like keywords in before it and after it.
So like if you go to Amazon search and put in like cat or whatever, cat pinata.
I feel like for merch mama.
Oh, cat pinata.
Then I believe it shows you like keywords that are associated on the front end of it and the back end of it, and it like pops it all out into one screen.
Yeah, I've been using that for the past week and a half, and I already have shirts selling, and I think it's because of using the predictive search, and that tool is amazing.
Cool.
Like I just typed 4th of July and I didn't finish July as like Jewel, and it put all these things on the left, which I assume are the normal searches, and then it says keywords after, and it's like 4th of July dress showed up as after and not in the main searches. So just like, and then it kind of shows stuff that shows up before, like baby girl 4th of July.
And then it can also help you like niche down too. So it's actually a pretty cool tool.
Like a file.
I think it's called what? Amazon.
It's AMZ
Extender?
Suggestion Expander.
Expander, that's the one.
It looks like little arrows in like going 4 different directions if you have it on Chrome.
Cool. Sorry, got a little sidetracked there.
That's good though.
That's a good tool.
That happens a lot.
Now, do y'all list using Amazon's predictive search? I know that's like the thing that all the successful merchants are talking about. Use the predictive search when writing brands and keywords and stuff. Or do you just
a little bit? Probably not as much as I should. And I think
how do you just kind of go with common sense when you're writing your listing?
Kind of, yeah, and try and think of words that relate to the design. And you know, Merch Informer is another tool that I think can be helpful. And I think they just came out with a predictive search thing or something, if I remember.
They have. Yeah, they have. That is the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool program. Okay.
Yeah, that's one I use pretty much. Like I neglected it for the longest time, and now I'm starting to use it more, and it's an incredible tool. Is that one that y'all use as well?
Yeah, I use it not as much as I should, but yeah, I definitely use it.
What do you guys use to make your designs? So I guess this would be a question for Kayla.
Yeah.
Like, do you use what programs do you use to design?
I like using Photoshop. That's mainly what I use just because I'm familiar with it, and I took classes in high school about Photoshop, and I would do it kind of in my free time. So when I started doing merch, I was just like, oh, Photoshop, that's what I know how to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I've gotten to learn the software pretty well, so I can whip up designs pretty quick in it. So that's what I like to use.
Okay.
I've actually made a couple designs myself with Make Merch.
Nice.
I think it's pretty cool.
Awesome.
And I think the designs are really dumb and they're dorky and they sell. So
dorky is a good niche. I love dorky things. I would buy your dorky shirt.
Oh, some of them are pretty stupid.
It is kind of funny what people will buy.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I have some friends that they use Make Merch as well, and it's a very powerful tool.
Yeah. So. I mean, I know they've added a lot of things lately, and I haven't used it much lately because I've had enough designs to do from my VAs. So I've kept busy enough and trying to re-upload things that have fallen off. But I think it is pretty fun to kind of play around with it and make some weird designs. And I mean, I had a couple of Christmas ones that actually sold really well. That just kind of surprised me.
Do you lean more towards the text-based or always have a graphic, mix it up?
I try and mix it up a little bit. I think most of the ones now have some sort of graphic that my VAs are doing just because if I'm paying them, I want them to put a little bit of effort into it.
Yeah.
I can easily do text designs myself.
Right.
So those I try and have them have some sort of design in them.
Makes sense. Where do you, well, both of you, where do you guys see merch going like in the next year or so?
That's a tough question.
I like that question. That's a good one.
I wish I knew the answer. I think in the last year they've added long sleeve shirts, hoodies, and sweatshirts. So I think they're just going to keep adding products. And I think Amazon kind of wants to rule the print on demand business, and they're going to do whatever they can to make that happen. So
I think a big thing too is being able to ship places outside of the U.S.
Right.
With that.
Yeah. When they start going international.
That's going to happen eventually. It's just a matter of when, I think.
Right.
Did you all, if you can say, were you part of the test program for it or?
No, we weren't. Okay. But I mean, I know that they're working on it because I went to the merch conference in Seattle last September.
Oh, how was that?
It was amazing. It was wonderful. And I actually got to have dinner with the guy who's the head of merch.
Oh my gosh.
So that was pretty incredible. But and from that conversation, I know that they're working on going international, but they want to have the printing facilities like in Europe. They don't want to print in the US and ship to Europe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
For the shirts. So because shipping would be too expensive. So what they're trying to do is get somewhere where they can print the capacity of shirts that they know they're going to have. And that's been the biggest challenge with the international.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I think also like their environmental regulations they have to overcome every time they open up a new facility, it seems like.
Right. Yeah, I don't think it's as easy as we think it should be.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of back end rules and regulations and stuff that we don't even know.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. You finish.
I think also, I mean, I feel like even since we started doing merch, there have been so many people joining the platform. It's becoming like, even more crowded and crowded, I think. And so I think it'll get more competitive as time goes on, and having like the best selling shirts is going to get harder. But I think as they expand into other products and shipping internationally, I think there's more potential in that too then. So I don't know. I think it's going to grow in every way. It's going to get huger and huger, I think.
Are you looking towards other platforms too to push your designs into, or are you currently doing that, like putting them on Etsy or?
No, I haven't done any of that yet. I would like to, but I just need to take the time to figure out how to do it. Because I think Etsy with Printful would be great because they have a lot of other products. But I just haven't.
And you sell on Walmart too, right?
Right, a little bit on Walmart, Jet, eBay, and Amazon.
You could sell shirts on Walmart too if you wanted to.
Well, I suppose I could.
Yeah, and that would be really good.
Right. Yeah.
eBay.
Now, what's the #1 product that merch does not have currently that you would love for merch to have?
Probably mugs, I think.
Girl, I am with you. I want the mug so bad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think mugs would be very popular.
Especially like if they came before Q4 actually showed up.
Right.
And you know
Not like the long sleeves after Q4 or the hoodies.
And I would buy dorky mugs too.
Yeah. People are kind of passionate about their mugs.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we just have a few more minutes because I know Amy has to. She's in high demand tonight. She's got another show right after this one. So
9 o'clock showtime, Amy?
She
Well,
does.
I am going live in the Girl Boss group. Sorry, boys. Sorry. But yeah, me and Amanda are going to be talking on there for a little bit tonight. So I'm excited.
I'm really excited to see it too.
Cool.
You guys are awesome.
I had a question for you, which you touched on a little bit. One of the girls had asked you, but what is your long-term plan with everything? Like, what do you see yourself doing, let's say, in 5 years or 10 years? Or do you have certain goals you're working towards, like life goals or business goals?
Yeah, I guess for me, I'm trying to focus more on merch, build that up. I think it's a numbers game. You know, if you have 10,000 shirts up, you're going to sell 100 to 200 a day, I think. You know, and I think that can make a full-time income. So just trying to work to get the numbers up. And then also with my FBA business, I'm trying to switch into more wholesale and private label. So I can outsource it more and I can send stuff to a prep center so I don't have to touch it. And it's not taking over my house and I don't have products all over the place rather than RA and OA, which I had been focused on ever since I started. And like after Q4 this year, like January, I kind of decided now I'm going to kind of switch gears and focus more on wholesale and private label and merch. So in 5 years, that's what I would like to be doing full time and maybe working 10 to 20 hours a week. And in 5 years, my youngest will graduate high school. So we will be empty nesters and just be able to travel more because I love to travel.
Awesome.
Upload merch from the road, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Merch is perfect for travel. Like
it is.
Ideas and
I didn't go anywhere fancy, but I went up to New Jersey and it was like as if nothing. Like I could still upload. I could still do everything I normally do. So
right. Yeah, I love it. You can do it anywhere. That's why it's such a great opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then you can actually add that element in with Amazon FBA down the road too if you want to use a prep center.
Right. Yep. And I do have a couple prep centers that I use now that work out really well. So I'm sick of packing boxes. So I'm trying not to pack boxes anymore.
Yeah. That's a hard thing to get away from because once you're like, you see the deals or you see something, like it was hard for me to transition from FBA to OA because you're used to like just picking stuff up and putting it in a box.
Right. And I'm sure once Q4 comes, I'll be packing boxes again because it's just
you might not though. I was able to just be like, nope, that's not what I do anymore.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
I know I try to stay away from it, but then I'm like, but wait a second, this is out of stock, and I could be merchant fulfilling it from my house. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
$50. Yeah. Yeah.
Me, I was like, print on demand. I don't gotta touch it. Awesome. I'm in.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. The more I learn about print on demand, I think it's great.
Yeah.
It's such a cool thing to not have inventory and to pay storage fees and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you don't appreciate it unless you physically packed boxes.
Right. Exactly.
Then you appreciate it. I was like, oh my God, I don't have to lift 50-pound boxes all the time every day.
Right. I mean, it was a good workout. It was good exercise.
It was, but I could just go running or something.
Yeah.
I do the Amazon and Shopify integration because I started on the other end with Shopify and print on demand, and I got returns over Christmas because now they do these hassle-free, returns, whatever. Doesn't matter that I've already paid for the shirt to be printed. Right. So I have like a closet full of stuff. I'm like, it's so weird having inventory. Like I could hold a yard sale or something to get rid of the stuff.
Yeah.
Some of them got incorporated into my closet. I will be honest.
I have an awful lot of merch shirts.
Yeah,
I'm getting more. I like them.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask too. I was thinking about, have you dabbled at all with local merch or done anything local?
I haven't, nope. But I know a lot of people have a lot of success with it, and I think it's a great idea. I just haven't had time to do that.
Yeah, there's like 10 million different ways.
I know you're doing so many things.
Yeah.
What about merch collab? Are you guys gonna do that?
I don't know. I haven't had a lot of time to look into that and to research that because that just came out like 2 weeks ago or something.
Right.
So I don't know yet.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I need to learn more about it.
Yeah, it's good if you have to be a designer. Like you can't use, like I'm like you where I buy designs. I don't really make them myself usually. And for merch collab, they won't allow that. Like you have to design it yourself.
Okay.
But
then I'd have to learn Photoshop or something. So
yeah.
And I think it would be fun to learn that. Just one more thing I haven't done. So
right. Yeah. Don't mean to be adding stress.
Yeah.
No, but merch collab, I was gonna try to teach myself. And Amy over here is gonna be mad at me. She was trying to teach me about Procreate and designing myself, and I just feel like merch collab is gonna be a huge opportunity. But I don't know. I
want it.
Really had a hard time getting myself to design. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. But if you like to design, I feel like it's a really great opportunity because it's hard to get licensed deals yourself. Like this is a way to be able to get licensed deals to work with all these big brands.
Right. Which I think merch is really going that direction with licensing and you can do really well with that. Kind of like the local merch. Some people are selling shirts like crazy, locally, but that's what's so nice about merch is that there's so many different ways you can make it work.
Yes. Exactly.
And that's exactly what I was just about to say. There is so many different ways and we're all unique. So we can put our own little fingerprint on everything, whether you're doing business to business, local merch collab, licensing, or just designing because you enjoy it or outsourcing. So
yeah. And you can always do it later too. So if you love one part of it now, you can do that and then eventually try out merch collab later or try out something else later.
Right.
Yeah, it's an incredible platform with tons of opportunity.
Right.
For everybody.
Right. And I think we're still at the tip of the iceberg. We don't even know. It's still not even 3 years old.
No, and that's exciting because I mean merch collab that like you just said, it's like 2 weeks old and that's a big deal. What else do they have planned?
Yeah. Right.
Oh, I know. So much, I'm sure.
Right. I mean,
I can't wait for mugs and tank tops.
Mugs and tank tops.
Yeah.
I can't wait till.
I mean, I feel like I need to write this down. Like, I really feel like tank tops are coming out like right when summer's over.
September they're gonna come out.
Yeah, September.
Bring it to the middle of winter if you have to. I don't.
Yeah,
As long as they come out,
that
whatever.
would actually
Right before the
timing would
freeze.
be great. If they did winter, you could sell workout shirts because all the people in
that's true.
January
There
are
you
buying
go.
workout shirts.
We're too positive. Oh my gosh.
Tank top and the zipper hoodie to go over it.
There you go. 2 for 1.
I can't wait till they allow admin access to our accounts because that'll just
my
save
God.
them
That would
uploads.
be very nice.
Oh, it'll be so nice to not have to upload.
Oh man,
Oh
come on!
my
If it got it on
God.
Seller Central, I mean, come on, guys.
Or basically,
And reading between the lines for a lot of people that got to talk to some of those merch people, it almost sounds like they're wanting to create a way to make that happen.
I
So
really
Yeah.
hope they do. Oh my gosh.
I actually emailed them about it. I forget what my exact question was. I guess it was sort of similar, like, do you guys have a thing for admin like you do for Seller Central? Because I have Seller Central account. And they were like, well, you can post your idea in the forums, blah blah blah, and supposedly someone from Amazon reviews them, and they said we don't have that at this time, so they kind of made it sound like that is something they're exploring, so that's exciting.
I think so. I think in the merch team, I think they really want to hear from merch sellers, and they really are responsive, I think, to what our needs are and what we want, and they want us to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. And the more successful we are, the more successful they are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a team thing.
Right. Yep. But I mean, they are strict on, IP violations and stuff, or copyright and trademark, and which I don't blame them, because they obviously don't want to be sued.
No, and I prefer it that way because then, I mean, it sucks to compete with people that have no problem skirting the rules when you're
Right.
trying to play the game the way Amazon's designed it, and then you've got some dude coming up and it's like, oh, whatever, we'll
Right.
make Captain America shirts or whatever. So
Yep.
get rid of them.
Exactly.
Stop throttling my stuff. No, bitter.
Yep.
Aw. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. Was there anything else you wanted to say before we wrap this up?
I can't think of anything.
I'm so glad you came on too, Kayla. It is awesome having both of you.
Well, thanks for having us.
And you guys will have to just we'll have to have you back on at some point after Christmas. I feel like there'll be another viral one coming up at some point.
That would be nice.
Oh, you never know.
There is an eclipse in 2024, so
You guys can really be the first ones.
there we are.
We already have shirts up.
There you go.
We're already selling.
Awesome. All right. Well, anybody else real quick?
Well, I just want to thank you guys for coming on the show too. I love your story. I love the success with the Eclipse shirt, and it gives me so much promise. And I was just coming into the merch game when y'all were blowing up, and it just gave me so much insight into the possibilities. So I thank you for sharing your story with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
It was really great meeting you both.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Nice to
you
meet
too.
you all.
All right. Well, bye, everyone. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you, Kim and Kayla.
Yep, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.